Okay, let's look at, we did a vector mask. Let's look at an opacity mask. So the opacity mask has a lot more flexibility because I can clip a raster material with a vector material, so I have a little bit more flexibility. So one is I can select both the photo and the image, the shape sitting on top and the photos underneath, and click Make Mask. And if you don't get the right results, you can always click the invert button and look at clipping. And so as you can see here, it produced very similar type of effect to the clipping path. I'm going to undo that. And the difference is that I can do things with this that I can't do with a vector mask, which is a simple straight knockout. So for instance, I could, with the shape selected, I could go up to Object, I'm going to go to Effect, Blur, Gaussian Blur. I'm going to blur the edges of that shape. Make this a little bigger. And now I'll select both the photograph and the mask and click the Make Mask button. And you'll see I've got a blurred edge. And that's something that I would never be able to do with a vector mask. Now, what else can I do? I'm going to undo that. Take off the blur. So the shape is being knocked out, and what we're doing is we're applying white as the knockout and black is solid. So if I fill this shape with a gradient, let's have the gradient go straight up and down, or left to right. Let's just leave it left to right. And I select both the objects again and click Make Mask. You'll see that the shape is the mask is being applied gradually depending on the gradient. So where it's black, it's totally transparent. Where it's white, it's totally, I'm sorry, where it's white, it's totally transparent. Where it's black, it's opaque. And because I've got a gradient here, it's gradually transitioning from one to the other. So I can go back and do that with my other shapes here. Let's look at this text here. And I've got the photograph over the text. And I'm going to select both the photograph and the text, hit the Make Mask button, and then I have to invert the mask. And you see how I've successfully trapped the text into the photo. And that is now there are other things we can do with this, which is I can also lower the opacity of any object on the screen. So anytime I have an object on the screen, I can select it and I can lower its opacity with that opacity slider. Okay? So I can blend things into each other. Used to do that type of thing was near about impossible in Illustrator. And let's stop there.